welcome back to Eye of the Storm, a Guelph Storm podcast with myself, Ryan Drury, voice of the Guelph Storm on Rogers TV, and I'm very pleased to be joined by another great special guest from the team. It is your captain, Mr. Braeden, the Bone Collector Bowman himself. Here he is. Bonesy, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Pretty excited.
Thanks for doing this, man. Obviously, lots of excitement, not only because the hockey season's back and well underway as we do this chat, you guys off to a 2-0 start, but another layer of excitement for yourself because, as I mentioned, you're wearing the big letter this year. You've got the C stitched on that number 15 jersey. It looks completely in the right place. How excited were you when you found out, and how did you find out that you were the captain of the team?
Oh yeah, I was obviously really excited. It was a goal of mine, obviously going from last year to this year. I thought I worked hard enough maybe to earn it this year, and then yeah, we were just at the doing a stretch after practice. Chad pulled the team over, and he just announced the letters. So it's an extreme honor, and I'm super happy to lead this group for sure.
Well, I think that, and you might know this if you see or hear any of the media clippings that go out there, we were all kind of in your corner when it came to the captaincy. We did a preseason show, and across the board, everybody picked you as the captain. Obviously it means a lot more coming from the guys that you go to battle with, the coaches and the staff. But a lot of people in the Guelph community, including the broadcasters, are in your corner too. That's got to feel pretty good as well, because you've become a real fan favorite.
Yeah, obviously it's a real honor. Honestly, it's a really cool experience. Just kind of like try my best to be a nice guy at the rink, no matter who you see, saying hi, learning names and stuff like that. So in the community, try to do as much as I can with the team. So yeah, I'm honored that people look at me like that, and I'm super excited that I get to see this year.
Your third full season in Guelph, and you've been a productive player right out of the gate. I mean, I know you played 2 games in that year. You were in the GOJHL with the now defunct Kitchener Dutchman. But your first true rookie season was robbed by COVID, obviously. But the first full year you got to play, I mean, you walked in and scored 27 snipes. I mean, that's nothing to sniff at. And you've been productive pretty much from the moment you've walked into the league. What's it mean to you to be a part of the Guelph community, though? Like, what's it like to be a Guelph Storm when you're Braeden Bowman? What's that mean to you?
It means a lot. It's a big responsibility. Obviously, you're not just I don't know, any normal kid. You might say you got a little bit more responsibility. You're held a bit more accountable. So I'm getting a phone call.
No worries.
um, there we go. Can you see me still?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, you're not just a normal kid anymore. You got a little bit more responsibility, and it's an honor. Obviously, it's a dream, and it's been great in Guelph the last couple of years. Just having learning and growing up in the city. Just since I was 16, like you said, I played 2 games, and then COVID happened, and then there was last 3 seasons. Just growing up with the guys on the team, it's an absolute, like, it's a blast. It's the best time ever, and I'm really excited for an overage season. It sucks that it's over, but just got to keep working hard, and hopefully there's more to come.
Well, I think there is. I think you guys have a pretty good roster this year. I want to step back. I mentioned, obviously, you have some experience playing in the GOJHL, a league I've covered for almost 10 years. And, that's, junior B, that loop, I feel like it gets overlooked a lot for how quality the hockey is. What was your experience like playing in the GOJHL? What can you tell people about it?
It was awesome. I developed a lot. You get to play games, you get to grow some confidence, get into situations that maybe you wouldn't be in if you were playing as a 16-year-old. And you just, like, you get confidence. It's your first time playing junior hockey. You get comfortable around older guys, playing with older guys you're not used to playing against. So it always honestly makes the jump real, not easy, but it just helps you out a lot. Coming from junior B to the OHL, it helped me a lot. And I know we have a bunch of guys on our team, like Benny McFarland was the same, Cooper Walker, Sandy played a year in 16 when he was 16. Miggsy played a couple of games down there, and then they're all flourishing now after a couple of years of hard working in our league. They, from that confidence they got playing in junior B, they just kept it going the last couple of seasons.
So I mentioned, obviously 27 goals in your first true rookie season, 33 last year in a season where you missed quite a few games due to a lower body injury and still put in 33. You go from 37 points to 72. You became a real offensive leader. Tell us a little bit about, how you've developed as a player and the way you've wanted to develop. Like, tell us a little bit about your game, how you see yourself as a player and what you bring to the ice, because, Guelph fans are used to it now. You play in all situations. Chad Wiseman has been more than willing to trust you in any scenario on the ice. Break your game down for me. Where do you think your strengths lie, Braeden?
I don't know. I like to be a two-way player. I like to be a guy that can be relied on in both ends of the ice. Penalty kill, power play, last minute need a goal, last minute have to defend a goal. So just take pride in doing the right things, and then usually from that the offense usually comes. But you're gonna get a lot less chances if you're not playing the right way and doing the little things, even in practice, in the gym, and obviously in the games. But it all comes from having good practice habits. And I think Chad does a really good job at preaching. Chad and the coaches do a really good job at preaching practice habits, doing the right thing every single day. There's no way to get around it. So it's just, I think I just like doing the right things, and then on the ice, just being responsible, honestly. And then I like to score goals, try my best to score. I think I've came a long way from when I was, 16, 17. I wasn't the best skater, so I found myself just being a lot around the net and banging pucks in. But last year I tried to score goals in different ways, maybe off the rush, trying to use my skating as much as I can. I've put a lot of work into it. So just got to continue to do that. I think it's going to be a good season.
Well, we can certainly see that. And you did score goals in a lot of different ways, which I think is a big part of your game. And we'll touch on, how your teammates and your line mates specifically factor into that. But I want to ask you as well, just about some of your experience, obviously still undrafted, which for my money is mind blowing. I can't believe it, but you've gone to some NHL camps the last couple of years. Obviously this summer you were out in Vancouver, which is obviously a pretty cool spot. Tell us a bit about your experience there and, some of the work that you saw in terms of trying to become that next level player, a pro hockey player, Braeden.
Yeah, it was a great time in Vancouver, and last year I was in Calgary and San Jose. I learned a lot from both of those spots, and as well as Vancouver. Just learning like pro habits in the gym every single day. No matter how you played on the ice, there's no excuses. But on the ice, I think it's just maintaining a high pace, having honestly an incredible being in incredible shape, just being able to maintain high pace and having your brain work at the same speed even when you're tired. I think that's a really big thing, making plays, holding on to the puck if you have to, just making good reads. And I think I've taken what I've learned from there and tried to apply it in the OHL. And I'm going to continue to do that this year, and hopefully something comes out of it. But yeah, it was a really good experience, and I'm just going to try to take what I learned and apply it this season.
Well, listen, a lot of great players that went on to play in the NHL. I'm sure you know this, went undrafted. One of my favorites, Adam Oates, undrafted. One of the greatest undrafted players ever, actually most points ever by an undrafted player. And I think you know this, Braeden. I mean, I'm sure people have told you, we don't like to play favorites up in the booth. You know this, right? But I'm a big fan of yours, and I'm sure you're aware of that. I truly believe you're a pro player. I think you can play in the NHL someday, and I want you to keep your head on the grindstone and just keep on going after it, man, because I really think you can play in the NHL.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Now, obviously, on your journey there, you're on a pretty talented Guelph team. Let's talk a little bit about your line last year that really went off. And that second half, you guys put together one of the best records going down the stretch after obviously a tough start to the season. But you guys really kicked it into high gear, particularly after that trade deadline. Yourself, Matt Poitras, and Max Nemesnikov, the man we all call Mad Max. You guys were, for my money, one of, if not the best top line going down that stretch drive last year. What about that line, the three of you together, clicks so well? Because it's fun to watch.
I'm not sure. I mean, after the trade deadline, like you said, sadly we had to say bye to a couple of our good friends and good players. We had like Danny, Zilks, Pasta. Sucked they had to go, but I think when we were there, it was kind of just like, all right, guys, this is our team, and we ended up starting playing one game together, and then obviously Potsy is one of the best players in the league. I mean, he's lighting up preseason NHL games right now, so he's an unbelievable player. Passes like I've never seen before, hits the tape every time, and then Max is such a hard worker. He digs in the corners hard, but also if he's not going to miss a lot of shots if you give him one in the slot or pretty much from anywhere. So he can score from anywhere. Potsy's an unbelievable passer, and we all we're all good friends off the ice too. We joke around, we hang out all the time, and that's definitely what factors onto our on ice success. But yeah, it was a really good finish last year, and hopefully we can keep it going into this year if Potty comes back.
Now, obviously, yeah, and we're all hoping that Matt does come back because he's electric, obviously. But I've talked to a few of your teammates already in the early days of this show and off the ice. And, you know, Cam Allen said something interesting to me up in the booth the other night during the preseason game we covered before he flew down to Washington. And he said that everybody looks to you as kind of the benchmark in terms of physical fitness, the good habits. And I'm sure, as you said, picking some of that up from NHL camps, but everybody pretty much to a man says you're the guy that everybody follows. Big reason you're wearing that C for sure. When did those habits start coming into your repertoire? Because, you know, you grow up, you're a kid, you're having fun playing hockey, 12, 13, 14, thinking maybe you can get to the OHL. When did those habits, those good habits in terms of working out, eating right, staying in shape, when did that come into play for you, Braeden?
Probably around like just like my draft year, honestly, minor midget. Probably just I'm not just like learning to get habits because I was never the best player, best skater. I always just tried my best to make sure I was responsible on both ends of the ice. And then I ended up going to hockey school, so it was pretty easy to maintain good habits when I'm on the ice every day and just learning from good coaches and obviously good players, my peers. So I try my best just to be responsible. And then over the years, I've learned a lot from Chad, George, and just guys like that. My teammates, obviously, Cooper Walker's been a role model for mine, kind of Benny McFarland, even though they're just a year older than me, just looking up to those guys, their work habits and stuff like that. It's pretty contagious, honestly, when you're there for a while and all you're doing is being around the guys. You see the guys that do it right, and you just try to model yourself after that. So pretty honored that they look to me like that, but I'm just trying my best to keep it up this season.
Now, I've asked your teammates that I've already had on the show before, and I'll ask everybody, you know, obviously the NHL is a goal. Every young hockey player would love to go play in the show someday. Who are some guys that you grew up watching that inspired you to play the way that you do? Who are some guys that you watched every night on the NHL television sets where you said, I really like how he plays. I'd love to play like that?
Um, my favorite player was Ovi when I was younger. Ovechkin was my favorite. I
Hey,
always looked to him.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Capitals were my favorite. I watched them all the time. I loved Ovi, and then I think recently it's been Matthews, just the way he shoots the puck and he's responsible on both ends. I wouldn't really compare my game to him, but I just love watching the way he plays. Him and Marner are unreal together, but I really like watching them. And then trying to think, Ovi, pretty much that those two guys, both good shooters, good playmakers. So I love watching them.
Well, listen, I I'm a big Caps fan, you can tell. And I don't like to do this often, but it's easy for me because I've watched the Caps my whole life to just kind of compare guys I see in junior to guys I've seen play for the Caps. And I'd
Yeah.
love your opinion on this one. I'd love to compare you to a current Capital and a guy I really like. You really, really remind me of TJ Oshie a lot. The way you play, the way you shoot, both right-handed, you're bulldogs out there on the ice. You're both not the biggest guys, but you go out there and you lay your body on the line and do everything right. You kill penalties. Is that a fair comparison, would you say?
Yeah, I've actually used him before a couple times doing my similarities. I think he's a little bit more physical than me. That's the only thing. He really like he can throw his body around. He's strong on the puck. He rarely gets knocked around. That's something I want to implement into my game, being a little bit more physical. But I definitely see it. Yeah, he shoots the puck really well. He can score from any ways. Pretty good in the shootouts too. So yeah.
I think you're right there, and your shot, particularly your one-timer, is something that's really improved the last couple seasons, and it's become a weapon for you. I want to ask you about growing up, obviously being a Kitchener area kid, great minor hockey program there. I know you played for the U16 Rangers. What was that like growing up, playing hockey in the Kitchener area, such a rich hockey tradition there?
It was awesome. Obviously, I played every year there from minor Adam, and then I made some lifelong friendships that really I'm never going to break. Like Stickig, I know he was in Guelph for a couple of years. He's in Sarnia now. Sop on Kitchener, and just like guys that I still hang out with to this day. They did a really good job at creating a foundation for us and just being responsible, obviously on and off the ice, being good citizens, and then we were all lucky to be drafted to the OHL. And then, yeah, we're all playing against each other now. I got to play with Sikic for a couple years, which was honestly pretty cool. He was my centerman in minor hockey, and then in the OHL, we played a couple of games together. We were rarely on the same line. We were both right wingers, so sometimes it worked out though. We got to play together, and there was some chemistry there for sure.
Obviously, it's got to be pretty special any night, whether it's at the Odd or at the Sleeman Center, when you get to play those Kitchener Rangers, right? Little added spice for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just being a kid, I used to go to all the games. Used to wear my roller skates to the games and stuff. But it's pretty cool just being able to have some relive memories I had in there from when I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and then being able to play there. Used to hate the Guelph Storm, but now definitely biggest fan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Things have changed, I would say,
Yeah.
for sure. And rightly so. I mean, you mentioned strapping the rollerblades on. What are some things you like to do away from the ice? What, because hockey can take up a lot of your mental time, a lot of stress. If you think about the game too much, you got to kind of have an avenue to get away and forget about the game sometime. What's that for you?
I like to golf with my friends. Pretty much just hanging out with the boys, honestly. I love nothing more than hanging out with the guys, even if we're doing nothing. But hang out with the boys, play some golf, stick handle, shoot pucks, hang out with my family too. I love hanging out with my dad and my mom, my brother, my grandparents. It's always a good time. So pretty much stuff like that, hang around the house. But I hate being alone, just love being with the boys.
Spoken like a true captain. I like it. That's good. Are you a decent golfer? Are you pretty good?
Could be better. I mean, I'm probably like mid 80s to mid to high 80s.
That's
So
not bad.
terrible. I think my best round this year was like an 82 or something.
That's
Definitely
not bad.
with a couple preferred lies, but I don't know. Not bad. It could be better though for sure. Need some work.
I love watching golf as well. I'm sure you maybe took in some of the Ryder Cup. Do you have a favorite golfer?
I like Scheffler. He's pretty good. I like
Yeah,
watching him. He's unreal. Spieth. I like Tiger. Obviously, love Tiger. Just
of
he's a
course.
legend. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, there's no way to hate Tiger. So
No, absolutely.
I like-
Myself, I'm a big Ricky Fowler guy. I like the
yeah.
creamsicle pants. I'm a big fan of the creamsicle pants. Ricky, he's my guy. I want to ask you as well. I've been asking your teammates this as well. If you're in control of the stereo, the boombox, I don't know what you guys have in there, Bluetooth, whatever. If you're in charge of that in the dressing room, what are you throwing on to hype the boys up before a game? What music's on the playlist for you?
Before a game, I don't know, like some Eminem in there, old school Eminem. The
Nice.
board's pretty fired up. Like some Drake. Couple. I don't really like the new rap stuff. I like the older stuff more, Dr. Dre and stuff like that. Snoop Dogg. But for practice, if we're not trying to get hyped up, maybe I'll put on like Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, stuff like that. I like country, so
I've
usually
heard a
that
lot
stuff.
of country answers so far. It seems to
Yeah,
be the one, right? I'm
yeah,
waiting for one of you to join me on the heavy metal side. I'm
yeah. We
waiting
play some
for
of that too. Play some
Okay,
Metallica,
there
AC/DC
we go.
sometime. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'll accept it. I know that a lot of NHL teams are doing it now. If you could pick a goal song, if the team allowed you to have a specific goal song, is there one that comes to mind?
I don't know. We were discussing this the other day. I I couldn't think of one. Maybe like there's a new one from Barbie or something. Dance something. We were playing that one. We like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but it's something by Dua Lipa.
Okay, yeah, I know the tune
Yeah,
you're talking about. Well, let
yeah,
me give you a suggestion, okay? And I want to ask you about this as well, but let me give you a suggestion. Everybody calls you Bonesy. We started calling you the Bone Collector. What about Them Bones by Alice in Chains? If you don't
yeah.
know it, you should check it out.
No, yeah, I know that song. We definitely would be a good song to play.
That's right.
That'll be funny. Yeah, I definitely would use that one actually.
Them
Smart,
Bones. There's your
smart
theme
one.
song right there, brother. I want to ask you about that. Obviously, we try and have fun up in the booth. You guys are a fun group to watch. I see you guys, playing keep up when I walk in quite often. You seem like a fun group. So when we heard everybody was calling you Bonesy, I don't know if it was Steve at the time or myself. One of us just started calling you the Bone Collector anytime you scored a goal. What do you think of the nickname? Because if you don't like it, I'll stop using it.
Oh, I like it. I love it. It's awesome.
Beautiful.
The boys start
Beautiful.
calling me it sometimes too. Yeah,
That's
I like
perfect.
it. It's actually
It's
like
catching on.
a weird origin story. I started like I was really young and I was like super skinny, like just skin and bones. So my dad started calling me Bones. Like I
Okay.
don't even know anyone that calls me Braeden anymore. Just like my grandma and my girlfriend, pretty much. That's it. My mom calls me Bonesy, my dad, everybody.
Wow. I love
Yeah.
it. There you
Yeah.
go. Well, hey man, it's a great handle because you hear in the NHL it's the nicknames are kind of bland sometimes. Bone
Yeah.
Collector's not a bad handle, man. They should put it on shirts.
I like it. Yeah. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Maybe we can get like a playoff sale going, a promotion, if you will. The Storm
Yes.
love that. So I want to ask you as well. I've been asking all your teammates this. If you could put yourself in a dream lineup with whoever, former teammates, doesn't have to be NHL guys, but any players, I want you to fill out a dream starting lineup for me with you at right wing. Who would you put on your lineup?
All right. Dream lineup. I think I would. So me at right wing, in goal, probably goalie Vasilevsky. He's pretty
Like it?
unreal. And then right defense, like Makar. And then left D, Bushinger.
I like it.
I don't think anything beats like selling with like the boys, like being on a line and like scoring with them and like winning games with like the guys that we have on our team. It's like the best thing ever. So I definitely need Bushy there. Left wing, probably left winger. I'm trying to think. Maybe Kane on the left wing. Patrick Kane, then Potty in the middle, and me on the right.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
that. I like that you included teammates in there. I
yeah.
mean, is this guy a captain, folks? Come on. It's unbelievable. I love it. I want to ask you a little bit about, obviously the team heading in this year. Like I said, a great top line. You guys have some really exciting rookies that don't look out of place at all. I've been really impressed with those guys. What do you think about your chances this year? Obviously, last year ending a tough 6-game battle with Sarnia. They really loaded up. I think you guys might be in position to do something similar. What do you think of your chances this year, Braeden?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we have some guys that are going to make some big steps this year. I know, like you said, our young guys like Ryland Singh, Snellgrove, McFadden, Beauchene are all really good rookies. Serlin even is coming as a young guy and stepped up. So I think we just got to keep it going. I think nothing happens until you start winning. Obviously, can't add. So you just got to keep winning with the group we have. And I think we're more than capable of doing that. I think guys are going to make a big jump. Like McGuire's looking unreal. He's always been good. Definitely underrated player in the league. He's physical. He can make plays, and he's got a bit more confidence with the puck now. So look for him to have an unreal season. Paquette's going to have a good year. Sandu, just all the guys that were always there working hard. They're just going to get more confidence now as they grow up. So I think we're going to have a pretty good chance, like you said. And guys like Jake Carabella, Cam when he comes back, I'm really excited. Gavin Grundner, my billet brother, actually. He's here messing with me for a bit, but he went away. But I think they're all going to make a big jump this season, and we're going to have really good chances. Hopefully, we can add. See what happens though.
Absolutely. Well, I completely agree. I'll ask you one last thing. I've also asked your teammates this. I'm just interested in getting to know you guys a little bit more rather than just looking at you on a stat sheet. Obviously there's some long bus trips in the OHL. I'm sure there's plenty of Netflix going on, Disney Plus, what have you. Are there any shows that you're a big fan of? Shows, movies, that sort of thing?
Um, Nothing right now, but I'm a big like fan. I watch Friday Night Lights all the time. See it like twice. It's probably my favorite show of all time. Big Tim Riggins fan, and I like
Yes.
yeah, and Family Guy. Honestly, love Family Guy. But on the bus, I usually put on like a Spin Chicklets podcast or something like that, and close my eyes if it's on the way to the game. But then on the way home, hopefully if we win, not a lot of movies. Usually just like cards, guys messing around, which is honestly like the best part of so many like unreal memories and just like laughing hysterically at stuff on the bus. Just like So that's honestly where the memories are made on our team. We have such a close team. So honestly, the bus rides home are so fun after a win, and hopefully we can get a lot of those this year.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And it's fun for us to call. You can tell that you guys are a really close group and that you're kind of the catalyst of that, man. And I commend you for all the hard work you've done on this journey so far. And like I said, man, I really, really believe that I'm going to watch you play in the NHL someday. So for my small part and, you know, being part of your journey and calling the goals and everything, it's been so much fun, man. And I wish you nothing but the best in the future. I think you can be an NHLer, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the kind words. I appreciate it. Hopefully, there's a lot more goal calls to come for our whole team.
Absolutely. Keep them coming. I'm more than happy to provide some audio for it, man. I really appreciate you doing this, Braeden. Best of luck this season.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Remember, you can find this show on YouTube. You can find it on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search Eye of the Storm, a Guelph Storm podcast. We'll be back next week with more. And remember, for any ticket needs, visit the Guelph Storm website or the Sleeman Center box office. We'll be back next week with more Eye of the Storm.